Welcome to the final video in our BuildSMART Revitt Panel Families Guide. BuildSMART Revitt Panels 601, Instance Panels and Walkout Basements. We are going to cover the use of instance panels in your project and how to build a walkout basement with the BuildSMART panel system in this video. First, let's talk about instance panels. As we previously discussed, you have the ability to change the framing type and insulation depth for the panels in your project. However, since the standard panel families have these as type parameters, you can't have the same model of panel with different types of framing in your project. Normally, this is fine and helps with the productivity since your changes to the framing or insulation depth are reflected throughout your entire project. Sometimes, you might have a special project or circumstance where you need to use the same type of panel but with a different insulation thickness, or one panel has 2x4 studs and the other has 2x8 studs. This is why we have provided all our panel families in an instance version, designated by the word instance at the end of the family name, where the framing type and insulation depth parameters are instance parameters. This means that if you use these families in your project, every panel can have a unique insulation thickness or type of framing. We only recommend that you use these families when absolutely necessary, as the instance parameters make it more difficult to quickly update the insulation thickness or framing depth on your panels. We will place a couple copies of this panel and show you that you can individually control the framing type and insulation depth. These panels will also show up separately on the BuildSMART panel order sheet if they have different framing depth or insulation depth. Now that we have covered instance panels, let's take a look at building a walkout basement. Let's go to the basement plan and pick one wall that will be the exposed wall of the walkout basement, and then delete it and the furring wall associated with it. Now let's go look at that in section. With that wall removed, the edge of our floor slab is now exposed and is not well supported. We need to add a thickened slab edge to provide a footing for the slab and the wall above that we will add later. Select the floor slab edge tool, and then we will select the thickened slab edge type. The provided profile is 12 inches deep by 24 inches wide, and please feel free to edit this profile for width and depth as required for your local codes, conditions, structural, and geotechnical requirements. We will click on the top corner of the slab and ignore the warning from Revitt by clicking OK. Now we need to switch the join order of the slab edge in order to see it properly and to cut through the correct materials. Revitt is finicky about this, so first we have to move the slab edge so it is not completely inside the floor slab. We will offset it vertically by 6 inches. Now that we have our offset, we will go up to join and click the drop-down arrow and select Switch Join Order. Now click on your floor slab and then the slab edge. Now you should see that the bottom of the slab edge is cutting into the foam. We will reset the vertical offset, and now you have a perfectly thickened slab edge. Notice that with the slab edge, we have lost a good amount of underslab insulation and now have concrete directly exposed to both the earth and the air. We have a solution for that with our prefabricated J-forms. They are preformed EPS blocks and come in lengths up to 8 foot, and they pull double duty as both a thermal break and a form for pouring and casting your thickened slab edge against. We will select the floor edge slab tool again, and this time we will select the BuildSMART J-form and select the top edge of the floor slab. Now we need to join this J-form to the floor slab to clean up the graphics, and then we need to switch the join order again so it will clean up properly. Once we place the J-form, we need to extend the gravel below it. We will once again use the floor slab edge tool, and this time select the BuildSMART turn down gravel walkout type, and then select the top front edge of the slab. Now all we have to do is move this gravel into the correct position, which is aligned with the lower left corner of the J-form, and then join this piece to the floor slab to clean up the graphics. The gravel footing drain also has to be moved, and that just gets moved down to align with the bottom of the J-form and joined to the other gravel. Now we have a slab all ready for a walkout basement. When placing the BuildSMART panels on a slab on grade, they need to sit on a pressure-treated sill plate that gets placed in the field. So when you place your panels on a slab on grade, you need to place it on the level called top of mud sill. This level is located only above the basement level in the BuildSMART template and there's not a corresponding one provided at the first floor level. If you do have a project that is slab on grade without a basement, you can just delete the unneeded basement levels and then move this level up to 1.5 inches above the first floor level. Let's go back to the basement plan and place a panel making sure that the level is set at top of mud sill. Once we have our panel placed, we'll go back to the section and align the panel with the ones above. We also need to align the edge of the floor slab with the outside face of the air barrier sheathing to provide support for our wall panels. We still have two gaps at the bottom of our panel wall. One is for the pressure-treated mud sill, and the other is for a field-installed strip of EPS that covers the mud sill and the top edge of the concrete slab. We will go back to the basement plan to place these elements. 4-plate wall type, and set the top constraint at top of mud sill, and place the sill plate aligned with the panel framing. Now we will place the EPS filler strip. Go back to the wall types, and select the EPS infill at J-form, and place it aligned with the outside face of the panels. We will go back to the section, and align the bottom of the EPS infill with the top of the J-form, and constrain it. Now we will go to the foundation plan, which hides all the walls and panels except for the precast foundation walls. Since the J-forms only come in 8-foot lengths, we will place detail components that represent the available J-forms so we can tag and dimension them. There are 5 J-forms available, and we'll use J5, which is the longest J-form available at 8 feet. Place the J-form directly over and aligned with the visible edge of the J-form slab edge. Then continue down the slab edge, placing J-form components as needed. If you need a custom-shaped J-form, you can duplicate one of the existing types and name it Custom 1, Custom 2, etc. But please remember the max length of a J-form, even a custom one, is 8 feet. Now we can dimension the J-forms, and you can also tag them and schedule them. The J-form tags are built into the BuildSMART template. That concludes this lesson on instance panels and walkout basements. It also concludes this series of videos. You should now have all the tools needed to build your own buildings with our BuildSMART panel system. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our channel and visit buildsmartna.com for more information.